some shifts in your financial axis, as well as 3 lucky strikes from Lord Jupiter, opening up doors of opportunity, things to do with the metaphysical and occult arts. It's the money you don't earn. So we can call it unearned income. It's the money you share with others, shared resources. It means it's a similar thing happening. The mechanisms might be different. You have a surprising, exciting, exhilarating uptick in your finances. I think it's a new beginning and a fresh start. You're hot. You're all hot in the 3rd house, social media, writing, teaching, communicating, traveling, neighborhood, siblings. It's all spicy in there.
Lunatic astrology.
Hello, Aquarius, sun, moon, and rising sign. This is the month of March 2026, your horoscope, so that you can time that month ahead with, by the way, a total blood moon eclipse in the sign of Virgo, going to make some shifts in your financial axis, as well as 3 lucky strikes from Lord Jupiter, opening up doors of opportunity for work and money matters during the month of March. In this video today, we're going to take it week by week so that you can take some notes and really learn how astrology is a map of time, not of place, and it allows you to use that time map in order to make better decisions and move and flow with the sky. If you're new here, welcome. I am Lori Lothian. This is Western Tropical Zodiac Astrology. And because I believe astrology is a navigational tool for time, you can try my All Signs bundle or individual videos for your sign for 2026, which gives you 2 to 2.5 hour videos, PDF guidebook, guiding you through the year ahead. And that is a yearly fundraiser, helps me raise money to have a staff helping me out here, equipment, and also to create a scholarship fund for when I teach Sky Reader this fall. And some people who are have a needs-based challenge can get a tuition discount. So welcome to my channel. Let's get going. Let's break the sky down. As we all know here, I am one of you. And if you want to learn astrology with me or anything else, just check below and you'll see all the links. I'm no longer doing readings this year. Maybe next year. I'm writing an astrology book for an agent. I've got other projects on the go. And I've seen, guys, 10,000, 20,000 clients in the last 9-10 years. So I think I'm just about full. I'll come back to that later on in life when I'm a little old lady retired in my cottage. All right, so let's get going and let's open up the sky. Remember, this is general bell curve astrology. I know you always ask me, sun, moon, or rising, how do I listen? Well, before we even tell you that, please cast your chart in whole sign houses. Look at my free tutorial below. In YouTube astrology, we're pretending we're using whole sign houses for you. And we need to do that for Time Lord tools as well. And honestly, it is the ancient tool still used in India, and it's better than Placidus for 1,000 reasons to Sunday. Learn how to cast your chart in whole sign houses. Number 2, sun sign, your true self, your essential nature, your divine spark, connects you to career and purpose. Rising sign, the simulation avatar. If your game player is the sun, the character the sun is playing is your simulation avatar, which would mean your rising sign. I'm hot. And you're going to find sun and rising very accurate. After the age of 44, your sun sign is often more accurate. Has to do with Lord Saturn. And finally, your moon sign is how you think and feel about your life, but it represents your home, your nest, your domicile, and where you live. So we can listen for all 3. And I think that the best way to listen is probably your rising sign, unless you've been a very spiritually aware and awake person and growing into a deeper connection to your authentic divine self, then you're probably going to find your sun sign is going to operate better. All right. But both of them should be listened to and you can compare notes. Let's go on to the sky and let me share the image with you of the heavens. And let's take the next 30 minutes or so together to get down with the astrology. I'm coming through this with you. For you with what I will call my super Wonder Woman heroic effort. It has a cough. It has a lot of sneezing, nose blowing. I'm doing my best to get through this without doing any of that today. Thank you. Be kind. Here's the ascendant in Aquarius. This is what we do. Your sun, we pretend it's in the first house. When we say Aquarius sun, we pretend the moon is in the first house. When we say Aquarius moon, let's get going. Aquarius, as we see, we have Pluto bearing down in our sign till 2044, plus revolutionarily out of bounds in a way we haven't seen since the French and American Revolution, as he ingresses in and out of bounds during the fall every year. So we are really revolutionary, radical, rule-breaking human beings, breaking the mold and making humanity consider us as a lead rebel goose on the lead goose of humanity. Okay. So we have a certain role to play as an Aquarius sun, moon, or rising, especially rising and sun in the next decade or two until 2044. Backstory. We notice that as we begin on March the 1st, that we're getting to the tail end of a 6-week journey of Mars through our sign, making us bold, decisive, declarative, and on that eclipse of February 17th, for someone like me, activating a flu cold thing because Mars is inflammation and heat. I'm just glad it's not an injury and I only have a flu or a cold. Thank you to the sky. Now, as we begin March 1st, we get rid of this Mars, which could make us very angry sometimes, very reckless or very assertive. And Mars is moving on past this part. And as we hit March 1st, 2nd, time zone dependent, it depends on where you live. It's for most people March 2nd. Mars will move into Pisces. Pisces is a place where you make money. It's your earnings, your resources, your wallet, your paycheck. It's what you put in your mouth. It's your teeth. It's your face. It's your nose. It's your face and throat. Now, it tends to look like for a lot of people when Mars is here, that their speech can become more aggressive because we have a voice here. But also we might be very self-starter, independent, making your own money. We might spend a bit more, or we might be passionately engaged in making money. And you might do that through till April the 9th when Mars is here until that time. Also, if you need dental surgery or any kind of facial rejuvenation with lasers, Botox, injectables, biopsies, whatever, Mars rules those sharp penetrating objects. And that's when you could go ahead and probably do that. Tip: wait till March 17th onward. You want Mars to be visible in the sky, and he's not yet visible. And in fact, he will rise on your sign March 17th. Happy St. Paddy's Day, and indicate a 2-year window of rising in career success connected to money, earnings, and resources, but might also mean a change of direction in how you make money. But we'll cover that on a deep dive video for Mars rising in Pisces, a rare event that will catapult you into new directions financially. Now, the next thing is the March 3rd eclipse, a total blood moon eclipse in Virgo. This is a house I always call chunky money. And well, it has things to do with the metaphysical and occult arts and also spiritual awakening, especially divesting from the egoic identity. It also is quite often a money house. It's the money you don't earn. So we can call it unearned income. It's the money you share with others, shared resources. So that's why we see spousal shared monies, including divorce separation monies. We see book royalty income, right? You're sharing with the publisher, shareholders, your stock investment, shared resources with stocks, companies, but also inheritances belong to the 8th house. This is the money that comes from your family. You didn't earn it. So this kind of chunky money has a major blast radius of a total lunar eclipse. Here we go. Kaboom. What is it going to be like? Well, before we do that, go back in time. If you go back in time to really, the window of spread would have been fall of 2006 to spring of 2008 with, the completely returning energies of eclipses in your 8th house, Virgo 8th house. What happened then? How did that go for you? So for me, it was good. I managed to come into a lot of money at that time through a auspicious sale of a property in a divorce settlement, right? So you see themes of shared resources with a spouse, separation of assets, chunks of money, for example. So the same thing is back, but it never plays the same way twice. It doesn't mean it's the same way that the money will come to you in larger chunks of money. It means it's a similar thing happening. The mechanisms might be different. So this is a total eclipse. It's a big deal. It's close to the north and south node. Sometimes it's destined, fated money changes that are part of past lives, of karma. Sometimes you might have to let go, surrender, or release a certain dependency on money. And we'll be doing a deeper dive into this eclipse video for all 12 signs on my channel with at least 5 to 10 minutes for your sign. So you might want to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss those upcoming videos. So we watch that eclipse happening and we might think, oh no, fear and trembling and trepidation. But no. Jupiter is in a flow to the north and south node. He's retrograding. So he's actually moving this way. towards the south node, and he's moving this way towards and he's backing away from the north node. But with the sun on this eclipse and the moon at 12, almost 13 degrees, it indicates Jupiter's blessings for this eclipse. That's why we look at a wedge formation here. So Jupiter will try to translate this financial change into the house of work, employees or employer stories. This is a house of rental properties. This is a house of pets. This is a house of debts you wish to eliminate. And you can see that Jupiter's blessing you in his exaltation here during that eclipse, although he is retrograde. If you go back to August of last year, he was at the same degree roughly. And so a lot of this kind of makes you think a little bit maybe of what you were doing last August regarding financial matters. But it may not only be that. There's other factors involved, including Mercury retrograde. But all said and done, it's a financial axis of change. It should benefit you in some way. The Lord of the eclipse is Mercury in the earnings house, the money you possess because you made the money in a job or a salary or something you're doing, trading time for hours or services or products that you create. So there's something going on about an increase both in your chunky money and earned income that could happen as a result of this particular total blood moon lunar eclipse. Now, I don't want to scare you, but this is a house of death. Yes, I know. And in Vedic astrology, this is the family that you were born to. And so it's possible there could be a passing away of somebody in your family of origin. Okay. Someone you know from your family of origin passing away, maybe in a surprising, unexpected way as a result of this eclipse. I don't say that's true or likely. It's just possible. So don't get all rattled. I tell astrology like I see it. And every lunar eclipse can take up to 6 months to unfold. Caveat, this could also be money from a spousal separation or the passing of a spouse. But separation or all that aside, this is not going to happen for most of you. It just means more money is coming through and changes in the way money shows up. Jupiter trying to protect and bless you and bring you the best possible outcome. And that's what I got for you, for sure. And we'll get deeper into the weeds on a longer video coming up in the actual, probably the end of February. Now we're going to move on and we're going to talk about the next story, which is going to be on March 4th, 5th, and 3rd, 4th, and 5th. So overlapping the eclipse. Venus brings good money news or love news or that surprises or excites you as she is going to come into a sextile to Uranus. Please slow me down on the playback speed if I'm talking too fast. So I need to talk fast because I'm not well and I need to get through this before the cold takes over around 4 o'clock when all colds make you feel like you just want to go back to bed. So cold, flu, whatever. So Venus is going to be here exalting your earnings and money house, exalting your earnings and money and resources, also your facial beauty. And here she sits. And if you want to get any facial procedures done, although I think you need to wait till after March 17th, I'll give you a small window of March the 2nd, 3rd to about the 6th, where you could still go ahead and not suffer too badly from any kind of facial procedures. Venus is exalting your second house. Money is involved and she's going kaboom. Shock, electric lightning bolts of some option, home, property, land, and real estate, family of origin, especially maybe mom, but it doesn't matter. All said and done, kaboom. What is this nice little touch of money luck? It may not be a big deal, but it could be because it's in the alignment with that eclipse that just happened. But it could be very much that around the 3rd, 4th, and 5th, you have a surprising, exciting, exhilarating uptick in your finances. Uranus represents the internet. He's in the home. Do you have an internet home-based business? Maybe that's where the surge comes from. Could be a power surge of wealth connected to possessions, an opportunity to win or buy or own. I say win because of Mercury. A car, a house, an opportunity to possess or buy a house. A surge of money that means that you have an unexpected change of homecoming, like home and coming, not homecoming. Coming, like, oh my God, I can move. I'm going to buy a 5-bedroom mansion, or I'm moving to a sexy penthouse with a lap swimming pool or something. I don't know. But good news, money, earnings, resources, and home. It can go from magnitude of intensities, depends on your chart natally. All right. So I'm not speaking to you personally. Remember. So in general, it's powerful. In general, you should enjoy this perk. As we move forward, as we do in time, we notice that the sun will trine Jupiter, the first of 3 lucky passes to golden-hearted Jupiter, good Jove, by Jove, good God, fairy godfather, Santa Claus, Jupiter, in your house of work and health. By the way, this is a health protector. Whatever's wrong with you, Jupiter will protect you from any dire consequences and help you find solutions through till the end of June. He's been here a year. Jupiter and the sun are trining, golden opportunity, money, finances, maybe connects you to things you were doing in the past, particularly late July throughout August. Golden opportunity for work and money. Golden opportunity for good developments, positive developments around speech, voice, vocation, calling, work, career. And Mars is saying, yeah, career. So this whole triangle lights up. And the sun is illuminating, showing you visibly something. In your chart, it could also mean more money from a spouse or in the life of a spouse, golden work opportunities for a spouse to bring more money to you as a couple, or just very good light with your fans, audience, and marketplace that prop up or boost you into a nice little golden glow of opportunity. Now, opportunity is different than outcome. Sometimes when I see Sun and Jupiter, I definitely say there's a golden opportunity emerging. It comes from people, places, and things you've known in the past. So really lean into what is being presented to you around March 4th and 5th. On March the 7th, Mercury will go into the heart of the sun. It's called a kazimi. It's a powerful day of announcements and news and information, usually positive. Please come to my free Mercury Kazimi webinar. Check the description box below for the link to that webinar. But what I would tell you is that because Mercury is in a money house, you could get money information, money news, money disclosures, money announcements that are positive. And because it's all flowing to Jupiter, very positive. On the other hand, it's a good inception day, so called an election. So this auspicious election, as Chris Brennan calls it, would be a good day to buy a stock investment, to spend some money on something you really want, to do something to do with an earnings opportunity. If you're unemployed, apply for the job, take the interview, scout LinkedIn, because you can begin something that indicates auspicious beginnings for the job search, the investment strategy, the new bank account, something that you want to say to somebody, something connected to employment, employers, and employees. Not a bad day to possess something new. Mercury rules commercial enterprise, buying a pet, renting a property. Well, why did I say that? Because Jupiter is in the house of rentals. So if you wanted to rent a property, you could sign a lease or procure a new home, and that would be a good day for that. I would open up to the news or information, but you can also harness that information by doing something important on that day that equals a long-term positive outcome. Venus will move out of her exaltation into the sign of Aries, a place of her exile. She'll be here until about the 30th of March. And during that time, she's still going to try to bring something good to you. She's in your third house of the following themes: siblings, writing and communicating, marketing, teaching, selling, learning, short distance travel. And that's the most of it. Maybe, yeah. So she likes pleasure. She likes enjoyment, but she's exiled from the high house of the ninth, where she really would like to be instead. And so she's making do down here. So if you really wanted to go traveling anywhere, she'd prefer a foreign land, but this might look like a getaway in the local environment. Sorry, I'm going to sneeze and I need to blow my nose. So hang in there. Maybe I'm not going to sneeze. Hang on. Maybe we're just going to blow my nose. I'm in my sweats today. I'm in my cozy outfit. But I don't know, guys. Let's go back to the story. Venus is going to help you, but be careful. She's on Neptune. She's debilitated. Saturn's debilitated. He's in his fall. Be careful about something that looks good, but it isn't. It's like it's a wool being pulled over your eyes regarding a communications project, an online social media possibility, regarding a trip opportunity that may not be as good as it looks, especially if it looks too good to be true. Okay. And she's also the ruler of your fourth house. So be careful too about things to do with property, land, real estate, or travel. And maybe it looks good, but it's not as good as you would like. Good news is there's a reality check, because although she is kind of fogged out on March the 6th and 7th. On March the 8th and 9th, she jumps into the arms of reality check Saturn. So any confusion around travel, siblings, home, nest, long distance travel, court or legal matters, educational opportunities, you're going to find that you are able to see more clearly if you wait till the 8th and the 9th, where she gets in touch with reality. But also Venus and Saturn is hard, and Saturn is hard, and Venus is love. Love is hard. Travel is hard. Sibling relationships are hard. There's something going on where things feel really difficult or constrained or contained at this time. So when is it again? You're going to feel it. Well, you're going to feel it most acutely around the 7th to the 9th of the month. And then it begins to kind of move into the backdrop. On March the 8th and 9th, Mercury will trine Jupiter. This is the second Jupiter pass. The Sun did the same thing on March 5th and 4th. So now we're in the 8th and 9th, and Mercury, the news guy, and Jupiter, the good guy, means good news. Good news, right? And you'll start to feel it building up on March the 6th, and you'll see it pretty exact on March the 8th, and it's waning on March the 9th. So between the 6th and the 9th of March, you're going to say, wow, that was some good news. And you'll notice the moon will be up here. So we get a nice, beautiful water trine, which is very auspicious. Now, Mercury is debilitated in exile. Moon is in fall. Jupiter's got all the goods. He's exalted, but he's the strongest player here. Quite possibly, though, it's still going to feel good as a career glow up. Money, career, work, glow up vibration around this time. And energy wise, okay, when Mercury is involved in this with the North Node of amplification and all of that destiny playing out, it definitely can look like an increase in your pocketbook and your earnings and your work and employment stories. That's very auspicious, especially if you're entrepreneurial or creative or artistic. And I like it. I like it a lot. Now, the moon represents domicile as a general principle, your home. And a Scorpio moon in the top of the sky is what we call exile. That moon wants to be exalted in the bottom of the chart. It could indicate there's an opportunity for a change of home connected to career matters, or there's an opportunity for a change of home, but maybe it's not ideal, especially if it involves the word rental. So take some time to really sit with that and see if that's something you want, because the position of the moon is a little challenging up there. Although I will say that the moon at the top of the sky can mean mass or public appeal. The exile could be how you feel about it. You'd rather be under the covers at home than getting some kind of celebration in your career or in the public eye. You'd rather be tucked under the covers, hiding from the world. I can relate. So there's a kind of a catch-22 here. On the 9th and 10th of March, there's a wealth yoga, or the power of love, the love of power, in a positive way, as Venus will sextile Pluto. Pluto, 4 degrees, Venus at 2. But by the time we move forward here to around the 9th and 10th, we see that Venus and Pluto have really hooked up. Now, this energy between Venus and Pluto is extremely positive. Why? Because Venus and Pluto don't actually hate each other by any means. And so we're really around the 9th and 10th, there's something going on where you might feel this surge of transformation and regeneration and renewal and rebirth connected to your relationship to a sibling, to a neighbor, to a childhood friend, to something to do with short distance or long distance travel. Both could be true. And the word love. So love could be renewing itself here. The hardship and constraint is behind Venus. And there's a surge of love and profound love renewal. Higher love could be involved sometimes with Pluto. Deeper love is a better word. More raw or more intimate and more cathartic as well. So there could be, now the love thing is not the only thing here. If you're like online and a social media beast and something good is happening in your online social media sphere that could generate power or wealth in your world. And if you're a writer, this is a writing house, you might be able to tap some deep vein, going deep, like almost under the surface with the muse and coming up with some creation that's OMG. Like you're like, did I actually write that? Venus does rule your book publishing house as well. So publishing and writing stories are deeply intense at this time. when it comes to romantic love and, the potential for romance, it's not the most obvious part of the story. I will give you that. However, I will add one thing. Because Venus is the ruler of the Libra ninth house, and which represents one-on-one relationships, Libra, there could be a travel opportunity for single Aquarians, meaning you meet somebody, a romantic interest because you are journeying abroad, or a romantic person, a romance blossoms from somebody in a distant shore and another country, basically. All right, so that's a vibing for you here. And we're moving past Venus, Pluto. And now we're moving to March 14th to March the 20th. March 14th to March the 20th. So March 14th to the 20th. On March 15th, Mercury will retrograde into Mars, and Mars will bump into Mercury. They're moving into a head-on collision. And that's in your money house. Now, normally I'd be worried, except for the trine from Jupiter. And you might want to go back to last August when Jupiter was at 15 degrees, because early mid-August, because this is coming back again. And this is work. This is employees, employers. This is staffing. This is stuff to do with work. It also can be health. And Mars likes to cut, end, and sever. So you may make some major changes to your diet, coming through in a very determined and sharp-edged way to cut off some type of food style so that Jupiter says we can be better at our health. And that's probably me doing the AIP protocol diet. Somebody told me I need to be a vegetarian on my channel. I said, I have autoimmune conditions and legumes are a staple for vegetarians. You want me to be vegan? And I said, I can't eat them. They're inflammatory. I don't know if you guys know this, right? If you have an autoimmune disorder, 8 out of 10 people, you should not be eating legumes. So energy-wise, Jupiter wants to bless this collision. It's your speech. You talk, your voice, your throat is here. You could say some very harsh words to some person somehow, some way. It doesn't matter. As long as you're using your voice, and Mercury's the god of speech, and he's intense right here with the North Node inflaming, volume up, and Mars is hard or difficult or cutting speech. You could say something very difficult and very cutting and very hard. And the only thing I can offer you about that is that Jupiter is trying to find a silver lining to the harsh words that are spoken. And that's what I've got. Be careful around your speech around March the 10th. Mars is a ruler of your career house and the top of the sky and your reputation. And so in that regard, whatever he's doing here can be about passion, fresh starts, new beginnings. You know what I mean? Like he might be like, we're going to do something here. I'm going to take a charge away, rally the troops around a new money-making endeavor. And Jupiter will try to make it work. Oh, I'm tired. Moving on. Do not get, I don't know, with Mars North Node and Mercury here, I'm not sure I would consider, I'm on the wrong date, but I'll move us forward. The collision between these guys happens on March 15th. I don't think I would do much here around my face. I don't like Mars, Mercury, North Node combination. I would be careful around dental surgery or facial stuff at this time, even though there's protection from Jupiter. The Mercury North Node amplitude there is a little bit scary for me to look at. And I don't know that you're going to get the result you want in terms of outcome. So just wait till that passes if you can. On March 17th to the 19th, you can even feel that 17th to the 20th, Uranus brings a surprise, just like Venus did back on March 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Now it's now somebody else's turn to surprise you. And the illumination of the sun at the end of Pisces, trining, of course, the beautiful Jupiter now direct. Jupiter goes direct on March the 11th. Anything that you're thinking about to do with job decisions, work decisions, pets, rental property decisions, these are things that are going to be much more clearer, debt elimination, health matters. This is going to be clear and you'll know which way to go. Jupiter retrograde since November 11th might have fogged you out a bit. He's deepening the bounty. You might have hired employees, whatever. You might have gotten new job stuff. You might have done changes in your work routines or health routines. since November 11th. But then now Jupiter's direct, and he's going to be direct till the 30th of June. So now you know what it is that you want is going to bring great bounty, great luck, great expansion, and great growth. And it is your work house. And so he's going to move forward on the 11th. And here we have it in his direct motion. We now have this trine from the sun on March the 15th. The sun is a light, lighting up your money, earnings, and resources, voice, what you're saying, your face, and Jupiter in a positive, bounteous way. Still takes us back to things in August because he's at the same degree. But now it's forward momentum and forward direction. And because Mars rules your career space and your online space, there could be a large amount of financial light shining here for you, where you can see exactly what you need to see about the money you make, the money you save, and the money you are working with here. You could get a tax rebate for all I know, given this kind of sky. All right. Then we also notice that on March the 18th, we have a new moon in Pisces at 28 degrees. I apologize, guys. I can't help it. Sneezing, blowing my nose, coughing. I'm sick. If I don't do this, I miss my deadline for when I put this stuff out, which is always the third week of the month. It's so funny when you're an entrepreneur, you can't afford to be sick, right? There's no one else. Like, you can't just not show up at work. March the 18th, new moon, 28 degrees of Pisces. And that's right down here. We know that Pisces is your second house. We know that's where money, earnings, and resources, speech, and face are all located, and dietary style. Certainly, anytime there's a new moon here, you could start a new dietary habit. Certainly with Saturn, Mars is cut, end, and sever. So you're definitely making massive changes to cut, end, and sever food styles or dietary paths that you realize aren't going to improve your health. In the meantime, the new beginning can also be a financial new beginning, especially when it comes to job, earnings, resources, and career. The money you make, fresh start, new beginning, North Node, worldly success. Especially good if you're artistic or entrepreneurial or performative, because of Mercury's co-presence. All right. Really like that for you. But all said and done, here comes a new beginning. This new beginning is being blessed by a couple of other elements. One of them is Juno, the goddess of contractual agreements. And one of them is, and vows, including marriage. And one of them is shock and awe, Uranus, surprise, or enlightening, or surging energy. And this energy is going to be positive, a mini grand trine on the new moon of March the 18th. I could say so many things about this. One of them could be a sudden, exciting opportunity to move your home to a place in a distant shore. 12th house doesn't mean foreign lands. It can. It means a place far from where you currently reside. But there may be this surging excitement of an opportunity, a contractual agreement with some person who lives in a far off distant land or shore, and it impacts your finances in a very positive way. And it could also involve your online world as well because of Venus's placement. So there could be a nice surge of excitement connected to home, property, land, real estate, foreign lands, foreign people, foreign shores, and this digital world that you inhabit. I think it's a new beginning and a fresh start. A new moon does not show you what it's about the day of the moon. It can look like maybe a day before and up to 2, 3, or 4 weeks after. The entire show is like the rolled out in front of you. The details of what this stands for is showing you what it means. I find you usually see true indications of this lunation's meaning, any lunation, within the first 2 weeks after the moon. But, and there's a big but, it still unfolds over 6 months. I think some of you will change your home because of this. I don't know if you're going to move to a far off land or whatever. It looks very rental property to me, but it looks like a change of location, and it can take up to 6 months to fulfill. But the understanding of the when and the where and the why of moving will be known to you probably within, at the latest, 4 weeks after the moon. If you are wanting to make a deeper commitment to a relationship, it's already in play, but maybe one that requires Juno is committed love and binding contracts in relationship unions. New moon is in the house of speech. There could be a verbal commitment to somebody who lives in a distant shore to maybe change homes, move into new homes together, commit or consolidate a relationship. That could look like this as well. Now we're moving past that into the Strike where the iron is hot. Venus in Aries, right here. She's all hot and bothered. You know that movie Some Like It Hot with Marilyn Monroe? Well, Marilyn Monroe has Venus in Aries, right? So you got some like it hot. You're hot. You're all hot in the third house, social media, writing, teaching, communicating, traveling, neighborhood, siblings. It's all spicy in there. And Venus is going to talk to Jupiter, and she wants a spicy opportunity. It can be about travel. Do you want to take that trip? It can be about a rental property in a new neighborhood or city. It could be a spicy and strike while the iron's hot opportunity regarding securing a pet. It may be involving a sibling, in this case, any sibling or a sibling one younger in particular, and a sibling two older or a sibling four younger. Those siblings may be involved in some major turning point changes in this strike while the iron's hot opportunity moment here. Social media belongs to this space. This is the employer work workspace. There's a golden, exciting, lucky break when it comes to the online milieu and something to do with your work that may arise. When it's a square, it means it requires urgent action or decisions. Okay. So it's good, but it requires attention. You can't just like close your eyes and pretend it's not there. It's going to demand you take a look at something that looks lucky. Venus is exiled. Jupiter is in great shape. So we'll see how that plays out for you and me. Alrighty, on the 21st of March, Mars will trine Jupiter. This is the third Jupiter trine. I think you might remember that the Sun trine Jupiter on March 4th and 5th, and that the next guy was Mercury on the 8th and 9th. And in those times, there were different conditions that made it less than, oh my God. But this is a really good version of that because we have Mars as of March the 17th visible in the sky. This is going to be the beginning of a 2-year cycle of change in your money and earnings story, most likely changing how you make money, most likely rising your money success to a new level. But we have a visible Mars in the money and earnings journey. Well, he's trining Jupiter now in direct motion in the house of work. So bosses, employees, employers, workspace, rental properties, pets. So you could possess a beautiful pet, possess an expanded, larger workspace, maybe a home office, possess a rental property. Obviously, you possess the property you're renting, like you possess it because you have to live in it. You could get some kind of, Mars says action. We got to take action. Like when lights, camera, action. What is the action financially that needs to be expressed here? That's golden, beautiful, and lucky, that expands and grows your range in your career, especially in your career and your career gains and your reputation and your celebrity. These are Jupiter and Mars stories. And Mercury says in your entrepreneurial and creative and artistic direction. So get ready to look at where some decisions and actions are required, but they feel very good. They feel like golden opportunity. Another way with Mercury and Mars, commercial enterprise and making money through commerce, marketing, selling, whatever stuff, and Jupiter expanding it and increasing that success, especially rippling to career and reputation stories and to greater career gains. You're coming into a gorgeous story here. And it's very rare. It could happen once every 12 years, but it's rarer than that because of Mars's heliacal rise. So surging you up to worldly success financially through career and money. And there's some choice points and action plans that you're turning into a direction that looks good around the 21st of the month, a couple days before, maybe 3 days before and 2 days after. Now, at the end of the month, we get one long dragged out story, right? It just goes on and on and on and on. By the way, Juno, I had to mention this because you're still looking at it. Juno is in the house of foreign land, so she represents committed love, vows. If you're dating someone who lives far, far away from you, you've had Juno here since, oh my gosh, I don't know, December the 29th to March the 29th. And she's going to cross the sign boundary pretty soon. So you're coming out of a time in which you're maybe a love at a distance, or a distance from the one you love, or something like that, or the one you wish to be with. And so you can see some major turning points are getting ready to happen as you step into early April after this transition of Juno into the next sign. From the 21st to the 26th, the sun will co-join Neptune and then Saturn. The sun will burn off fogs of confusion. Just think about a spotlight. Think about the sun on the dewy morning grass and how the wet grass will start to, shimmer. Or on a foggy day, the sun will burn off the fog. And that's what the sun will do with Neptune. Where you've been confused or uncertain, and the sun will be in your third house, writing, teaching, communicating, social media, traveling, siblings, local neighborhood. The sun will be here for 30 days. And the sun will touch Neptune as he enters into your third house. And where you might have confusion, especially around love because of Venus here, or should love endure or love is hard, that will begin to burn off. You'll begin to see more clearly, even confusion around writing projects, publishing projects, social media endeavors, neighborhood relationships, that will burn off. If you've been unsure about where you want to live, you want to move to a new neighborhood, well, certainly that Venus square Jupiter and then later on Saturn, but mostly Venus and Chiron could indicate that this is burning off confusion about where you want to live if you're considering a new neighborhood or city. And then we get the real coup de grace. Then we get the sun coming into contact with Saturn right after. So we're going to go to about the 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th. Then you've got a sober, realistic reality check. The fog is burned off. It's all ruled by Mars in the money house. Like if you're going to move, you're thinking about how much does it cost? This could also prompt you to buy or sell a car, and you've got the clarity that you need to do all of that. And again, we're really seeing that burning off of uncertainty here. However, Sun and Saturn can be an authority figure in the third house. That could be somebody that you know in the local neighborhood, like the head of the neighborhood watch or something, or an authority figure, a sibling who acts like an authority figure, is really touching down around the 24th of the month. It's not a negative. It just is what it is. That authority figure touching down activation just says there's something going on. Hardship could show up for a sibling in terms of their life force vitality, in terms of their head or head injuries. Okay, but otherwise, let's let that one go. And then the whole month is informed in the last 10 days into early April by the fact that we're going to see Saturn stability, and it's going to sextile Jupiter. As we move towards the end of the month, it gets even more precise. Stabilizing as you transform, rebirth, renew, and regenerate, you are going to stabilize something that has to do with third house matters. You're going to stabilize sibling relationships, local neighborhood environments, find a lasting place to live in a city or town or environment or neighborhood that you want. You're going to begin to stabilize your writing, and you get scheduled, disciplined, and more perseverant in writing projects. You might create new schedules for social media, the online world. You might pare away or cut away some things you do in the social media, online, or neighborhood sphere in order to leave room for things that really matter, that truly empower you. And you want to find enjoyment in what you're doing, Venus is telling you. And if you're not loving it, you're not going to be doing it. Okay, so that's what I got for us. Don't forget to like and subscribe. My Substack article comes out every Saturday or Sunday, World Astrology Unplugged, Predictive Value. Hopefully you'll enjoy it. I do all signs delineations also every weekend in an audio podcast, different from what I put on YouTube. Again, more freely spoken about things I can't talk about here. And if you want to also, that's free for the world stuff. And if you want to join me on Patreon, I teach up to 4 classes a month. Different tiers get different options. I hope you'll join me there as well. Various places to find me besides here. Members only community here. Check out what's in the back end. I've got a lot of good stuff back there. And I put stuff out there, including live streams on YouTube for you guys. Sometimes I do little mini spot readings for you that you don't get anywhere else. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe. My membership, by the way, community on YouTube is like $3.50 American a month. You can always unsubscribe after you've tried me out. My throat is so sore right now. Ciao, guys.
Lunatic astrology.